Good evening, all, and thank you very much for tuning in today. This is the pre-Diwali Dhamaka bonus from All India Runners Motivation, and it's my great pride and privilege to invite today's guest, and he has taken his time to come to our show. He is known as the Sprint King of Western Railways and has raced with many great athletes of India as well as abroad. The great athletes include Milkha Singh, Pan Singh Tomar, and a lot of other athletes whom you knew personally and also trained with them. So, without further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Alex Silveira, the sprint king of Mumbai, and whose record for 400 meters for Bombay still stands, even though it is 61 years old. So, yes, Mr. Alex, sir,
Yes,
thank you very much for coming in, sir.
I must thank you for giving me a chance to get interviewed by you.
The same here, sir. Thanks for the chance also.
Thank you for thanking me.
So how is Bombay?
Bombay is quite all right, except we're getting epidemics increasing day by day.
Okay. The weather must be okay now.
Yeah, weather is cool now, getting cool now.
Okay, fine. That's nice. So it's amazing. Talking to you a few minutes back that you had the chance of not only meeting but also training under a lot of great athletes
Yeah,
of your era. If you can name a few of them for the audience, it will be nice.
like whom all India class,
All
all
India and international. If you can just tell us whom all had you had the chance of meeting, in your career as a runner.
I told you know I met Charlie Jenkins, winner of 1956 gold medal in 400 meters. George Culbreath, who stood third in the 1956 Olympics in 400-meter hurdles. Jesse Owens, Emile Zatopek, yeah, human locomotive, Bob
That's nice.
Mathias, Bob Mathias, and then Jesse Owens' coach, Vince
Wonderful.
Creel, another coach, Czechoslovakian coach, and Emil Zatopek was being trained. So,
That's nice, sir.
and
We
besides,
have got Ram Murali Krishnan, who is also a runner and also the statistician for Athletic Federation of India, who has tuned in and he's saying it's great to see legendary athlete on the eve of Diwali.
thank you, thank you.
So you had a chance of meeting all these great runners, and including you're telling you're a roommate of Pan Singh Tomar.
Yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
still,
that's nice. So and if
and
you can you just tell us a bit about him? I mean, how was he as an athlete?
he was an Havaldar in the army.
Okay,
Good, good 6 feet man, great 1500-meter triple chase runner.
okay,
Unfortunately, eh, unfortunately, his land was taken by some people, and he went back and asked them to return his land. They would not return it, so he shot the whole family and returned the dacoit.
okay.
And some years back, he was shot.
Yeah, that's really sad.
That's
So,
it.
yeah, so thank you very much for coming in again. If you can just, I was just researching about you, and I can see that there are a few articles about you, sir, but nothing much mentioned about your childhood. So, if you can just tell the audience a bit about your childhood, where you were born, and how this interest in athlete to be an athlete come about. If you can just tell us, it will be nicer.
My childhood was not very attractive because I was in school. I never took part in any athletic meet. If I took part, it was just 100 meters. I was no athlete in school except in the 10th standard when I was in the hockey team which won the Amman Sailor Gold Cup against St. Stanislaus. That's my childhood. No commendable you could say, achievements.
Okay. And where were you from, sir? Which you were always a Bombay boy?
No, no, I was from Goa. Goa,
Okay.
named TV. All great sportsmen from Bombay were from TV. We had Joginder from TV. He was a journalist and he was a national champion in 200 meters. Way back in 1952, nationals at Madras.
Okay. That's nice. And in fact, Joe Castro was also a very nice person in the sense, like, he wrote about Simon D'Souza, and people
Yeah,
came to know about him after Joe Castro has written.
yeah. And
So,
he was also instrumental in telling me, Alex, I think you pick up to athletics, you'll make a name for yourself.
oh, wonderful. So,
Yeah,
so we got few people also saying hello. Simon Sarah Singh, Simon D'Souza is there saying hello to
yeah.
you, hearing you. We have got one more runner, Guru Murthy Nayak, who's also coming and saying hello to you, sir. So, when did you shift to Bombay, sir? From Goa.
No, no, I've been born and brought up in Bombay.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm from Goa, but born and bred
All
in
and brought up
Bombay.
in Bombay. Okay.
Lived, lived all my life in Bombay. Only going to Goa every year. Family.
Okay. Okay. Like every other person who has come to Bombay and stay. Every year,
Yeah.
school holiday is going to the hometown
Hometown, yeah.
for 2 months, summer holidays.
Yeah, yeah, we used to go to Goa every year.
That's nice, sir. So was running your first love?
No, it was not. I had no, what do you call it, love for running, but I used to go on the ground, start training, just like that, with nothing in view. And
Okay.
my first race was in 1951 when I
51.
stood 1951 when I stood second in 400 meter race, under 18
Okay.
junior junior.
That's nice. So, so did you train for that race, or how was it, sir?
Not train. I was what called going every day, running, doing my workouts and all. Not not concentrating on the race. So
Okay.
I was entered by one of the club members who saw me. Said, "See, son, we want to put you in a 400-meter race from a club level."
Okay.
So
Okay.
I stood second. I stood second at a bare feet. No spikes
Bare
at
feet.
that
Okay.
in 1951. And in
So
1951, I won other two races. I stood second, but
okay.
without much training. Only when I came into railways, when I was employed in 1953, that I stole a limelight.
Okay. So from 1950 to 53, you were actually training on your own.
Oh no, yes. No,
Okay.
not only when I joined railways in 1953, that railways, I was not appointed as sportsman. Service commission, I got a job.
Okay.
And then my this started because I started training. They told me that, see, we are building a Western Railway team. We would like you to train. So I started training on my own. And then
Okay.
in 1960 to 1954, I entered a race for Bombay State.
Yeah.
Bombay State entered the race and I won the 800 meters with a new Bombay timing of 56.3 seconds.
Okay.
And the 400 meters I created a new national record. National record is held by Ivan Jacob of Madras, 49.6. I
Okay.
did a, I did a 49.5.
Okay.
And I went for nationals to Delhi in 1954, stood nowhere.
Okay.
19, 1955, I was number one in Bombay. All India, I was no class. I used to do 100, 800 and 400 meters.
Okay.
And at that time, I saw Joginder Singh, I saw J.B. Joseph, and looking at them, my whole plan changed because they had come with the coaches. I had no coach. So
Okay.
that sort of motivated me that I should work hard to come to the top.
Okay, wonderful. So, so Simon D'Souza sir is saying that you were you're a very naturally gifted runner, and it never looked like you were making. It was so smooth that your running style. You know
I can
that it used to look like you're not putting much of effort.
no no. I can tell you that people describe me. He was a poetry in motion.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you very rightly said.
Okay.
I had national strides, and as I told you, I had one of the largest strides in India.
Oh,
As,
wonderful.
yeah, as I told you, I was known as the giant striding motorman.
Giant striding motorman because of railways. So,
Yeah, and, and my job was to run on the track, be it
okay.
grass track, be it cinder track, be it rail tracks.
Okay. So, inspiration at that time was when you went to the nationals and you did not win. That Joginder Singh ji was there, and Joseph was
Yeah,
there, Mr. Joseph.
yeah.
So these were your inspirations.
Inspiration means I could see that they were tough guys here, tough. Means they are built for the 400-meter type. I was
Okay.
nothing compared to them. So I said to myself, no, I have to work hard to come to their level.
Okay. So we also have your nephew tuning in, Colin Lobo. He's saying, "Uncle Alu, you are the greatest." So, so yeah.
Well,
So, the Colin is there saying hello to you.
he-
So, at that time, who was your first coach, sir?
I had no such thing as coach. I was a self-made man. I may have
Okay.
had coach for the short, no permanent coach. All
Okay.
training was done by me, looking at great athletes like Arthur Wynn from Jamaica, George Roden, Herb McKinley. Arthur Wynn was supposed to be one of the chap who had the longest stride in the world.
Okay.
Arthur Wynn from Jamaica. These people were 48, 52 Olympians. And I used to admire them.
Okay.
And I had a
So,
good fortune.
so how did you design your training then, sir?
I used to, then I said that what you have, to come to the top, you have to work hard. Only hard work can bring you. And I used to work so hard, 3 hours. I used to run 3 hours in the afternoon training. And people used to see me, they used to become mad. ये पागल है आदमी ऐसे दौड़ता है थकता ही नहीं है ये तो tell
That's yeah. I mean, we runners are known to be a little mad.
me.
Yeah, especially if you are into long distance running, then even more pagal.
No, this actually 400 runners at that time was known as middle distance runners. Now
Okay.
400 is no longer middle distance, it's a sprint.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, Rajesh, 400, one of the worst races. Sometimes we used to say, why we have taken up this race when you're running? Because it's a tough race here. Slight error and you lose the race.
Okay.
And I remember very well, there was James Leah in 1956 Olympics, given all his rounds. But in the final, he was nowhere because he misjudged the race and he lost.
Oh, okay.
Earlier round, he was unbeaten. And that race, as I told you, was won by Charlie Jenkins, who came to India.
Okay. So, tell us a bit about your first medal in senior championships, sir.
Yeah,
After getting into railways, you would have gone to the first. Tell
yeah.
us a bit about that race and how did you win it and how did you feel after that?
The first race was in 800 meters, Bombay, uh, Bombay State meet. That was my first senior meet. I ran the 800 meters first in fantastic time. The first lap I ran so fast that nobody could catch me for the second lap, and I won the race in a timing of 1 minute 56.3 seconds, which is a new Bombay record.
Okay.
That that was followed by 400 meters the next day, which I clocked 49.5 seconds, beating Ivan Jacobs' record of 49.6. Ivan Jacob was a person who went to 1952 Olympics
Okay.
at Helsinki.
That's nice. So, how did you? How was the race? Were you a leader in running, or you used to lead, or you used to wait
No,
and chase up later?
no, this particular race, I took a commanding lead of in the first lap of about 10 meters.
Oh,
And then
okay,
and the second one is a slow down, but they couldn't catch me because I already taken a lead. They couldn't catch me, and I won that race in one new Bombay record of 156.3.
okay. Who were your major competitors during that time, sir?
I had no in Bombay, nobody could touch me. I
Okay,
was a kid in my petty event. I never. I remember after several years, I lost the race in Bombay to one Peter Eldridge from England. He was in the Bombay Gymkhana. So
okay.
the journalist came and wanted to rub salt in my wound. He said, "Well, Alex, how do you like getting beaten?" I said, "Sir, my motto: run as if win as if you're used to it, lose as if you enjoyed it for a change." He just walked away.
So, how did that person react when you said that?
He just walked away.
He just walked. That- that's a very nice way of putting it across.
Yeah.
So, did you get a chance to beat that gentleman later?
No, he ran away.
He
No,
ran
yeah,
away.
no, I must tell you, once beaten after several years, and then she failures, they say, are stepping stone to success. The next week, I ran against Milkha, really the service is made, and I created a record which still stands to 61 years. This, so that was a blessing in disguise that I lost.
Okay. You are also it's amazing that you told me about this record, and the record still stands after 61 years.
That, yeah, still stands.
And the timing was what, 47 seconds?
47.6 international time.
47.6. It's amazing.
International created in 1959.
Created in 1959 in Bombay and still unbeaten.
Yeah,
Why are the youngsters not able to beat your record, sir?
because we at that time we were great runners. Yeah, today we don't have those type of runners. In
Okay.
fact, no. In fact, during the 50s, India had cream of quarter milers. Milkha Singh, Makar Singh, Daljit Singh, Joginder Singh, J.B. Joseph, cream. Usmani, well, cream of 400-meter run.
Okay. We have heard a lot about Milkha Singh ji, but we have not heard about JB Joseph and Joginder Singh, because you are part of the famous quartet of
Yeah,
400-meter runners. And
yeah,
can you just tell the audience a bit about JB Joseph and Joginder Singh ji, sir?
yeah. Joginder Singh was also a good runner. In 1951, he went to Manila first Asian Games and stood second in 400 meters to Akaji from Japan.
Okay.
And J.B. Joseph also was a good runner in 54. He was the first man in India to run a 400 under 49 seconds, 48.9.
Okay.
48.9 in 1954 was a fantastic time for an Indian.
Okay. And how were they as athletes? I mean, how they used to train?
Oh, he had he was a tough guy. He could take hammering training. I mean, he was tough, very tough character. And later on, he became a great friend of me in
Okay.
1950. Yeah.
Great. That's wonderful. I mean, that toughness was there in all the runners of that era.
Yeah, no, especially no, who are really good runners, but the services athletes. They were very tough. They had nothing to do but run the whole day long. Whereas we used to go to work, come back, then find time for training. But their whole this was they were like professionals.
I mean, it's still the case, the same.
Yeah, it's- You see
Uh,
all service athletes tough, tough. In fact, when I started my career, the moment I saw Sadaji, I used to get nervous.
okay.
Well, the Sadaji used to get worried about me. Later on.
So,
ये
so tell,
they should tell ये तो पागल आदमी है दौड़ रहा है because 300 meters no, nobody could touch me. I was so
okay.
fast.
That's nice. So, I mean, you
Yeah.
had a great race with Milkha Singh ji, where you were, stood second.
Yeah.
You also did you ever beat Milkha Singh ji in a race?
Yeah, in 1956, I stood first. Follow. There, Milkha Singh ran, Joginder Singh ran, Joseph ran, and I ran. And
Okay,
I can describe the race to you
please,
because
sir.
yeah, what happened? I had entered for 400 and 800. So that 800 was clashing with 400 heats.
Yeah,
And what happened is that I took up to 400 because you had four chances of representing India for 4 by 400. They should take 400. So I gave up 800 and took up to 400 seriously.
yeah,
Now, in this particular race, we took out loss for the lanes. We kept the staggers, 400 meters.
yeah,
We had staggers. So I picked up the outermost lane, and outermost lane you cannot be so follow. You're right in front, you know what is happening behind. So I was in a fit of fury. I threw that number 6 out. Follow. Then there was this journalist who was covering the race, Joe Crasto. He
yeah.
saw me. He saw me nervous. He came up to me. The coach was nowhere to be seen. He came up to me and says, Alex, don't worry. Best of runners been in the outer lane. Only use your head and run. And then the rain started. I didn't know the runners behind me, but they ran so fast that by the time they came on the final man, they were all wobbling. I said, here's my chance. I sprinted and won that race in a timing of 48.3 seconds, which was better than the Asian record of 48.5.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
So I mean, so despite all that, I know there's a sad part of it. Where you were not chosen for the Olympics. That's a sad. That's really sad that despite all that, you're not chosen.
No, I can tell you the story about how it happened.
Okay.
We were 5 athletes were provisionally chosen to represent India at the 1956 Olympics. It was Larry Pinto, Mary D'Souza, Mary Lila, Violet Peter, and myself. 5 of us. So Maharashtra state sent us for further training to Europe. I told you in the Czechoslovakia. So
Yeah.
there we were training. When we were training there, we received a telegram that come to Patiala for final trials. So Gila Rao, whose father was the president of AAFI, and myself, from, from Czechoslovakia, we went to England. From England, we came to Bombay, and at that time it was like 24 hours from England from Bombay, and
Yeah.
from Bombay we went to Patiala for the final trial. When I reached Patiala, Joseph said, Alex, why have you come? The team is already selected. They have already chosen 8 people, and we were chosen for 4 into 400 review. Joseph,
Okay.
Joginder, and Milkha. They would not allow us to run the 400 flat relay because if we qualified, then the flag would be out because
Yeah.
as Joseph said, you have simply come. The team has already chosen 8 people are already qualified, so they were not allowing us to run, and we never ran. They did allow us to run the relay. Individually, you have chosen for relay, not for flat. So then what happened? They told Milkha and Joginder, their services, they want them to run the other. Milkha was told, don't worry, you are already in the team. So Milkha ran, his timing was fudged, and he ran, and we were left out, high and dry. That's how we
Okay.
missed it. Now, if you want
Yeah.
me to tell you about the 60 Olympics, I can also tell you how I left out. It's a sad thing. We were in Mount Abu, and there were six, seven runners counting first four places. And a coach was there, being surreal. So this Milkha Singh, Makhan Singh, Daljit Singh, myself, uh, we were eyeing for first four places. So, so uh, I stood second. I stood, the race started. Milkha first, I second, Makhan third. So we were chosen to go for the Olympics.
Yeah.
The hockey team was there. So from Mount Abu, they came to Bombay and left. The services team was supposed to meet at Rome direct. They had gone to Germany for further training. Makhan Singh, Milkha Singh, Daljit Singh, and I was left here high and dry. Every day I'm asking when I'm going, and I was left out.
Okay.
Eventually I did not go, and the relay team was. Now we did not know why I was left out. But there was a gentleman, Vernon Ram, who was covering the Olympics. There he found that three athletes, three hockey players sent as athletes. According to
Okay.
international rule and Olympic rule, they only allowed 18 players. So
Okay.
they took the Harshmani Kaur checked the mission, took these three players, but he was in charge of hockey, and put them as athletes. And then
Okay.
he found out that a big headline he gave, three players sent as athletes, and that's how the 4x400 team was dropped.
Okay. I mean,
Again, that-
just to add to that point, 1964 also same thing happened, and Mr. B. Barua was also supposed to be part of it,
yeah, yeah,
and he got left out,
yeah,
and he could not join the Olympics team, but he actually beat. And after that, Milkha Singh ji retired, but he beat all the other three of them in
yeah.
the 1965 nationals.
I tell you who it was, because they, Jagdish Singh and
Yes.
Makan. Yeah,
Yes,
was that.
and
I
one
know
more,
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So and Barua sir beat them in 1965 national games.
yeah, yeah.
In
1960.
when it was like a vengeful, because he could not go. But I mean, it's sad that you had to face such bias, but it is also amazing that you still managed to come up despite all that. So what was going through your mind at that time, and who helped you during such time? Because any athlete meeting, not being able to go for two Olympics, would be devastated. But how did you pick yourself up, sir?
No, no, definitely, I was devastated, but I never showed. In heart and heart, I was cursing, and that is the first time in India lost the gold medal in hockey. They were they got punished there because they lost. They won the silver medal. First time they lost the Olympics.
Okay.
The extra players they put as an athletes. And I said, now what to do? I cannot do anything. But if I was smart enough, I would have put a quartet junction and not allow the athletes to carry without taking me. If I was smart enough then,
Okay.
send him a notice because I was qualified. I had no backdoor entry. I qualified already, said, you're not taking me. If I put a quartet junction, they had to take me.
Yeah.
So that was the sad part that I was not, you could say, good enough to learn. Later in life, I thought of it.
So how did you pick yourself up, sir? Despite all this, sad things happening, how did you pick yourself and ran the next race, sir?
And I said, now two more years I ran, followed 56, 57, 58, 60, 62, I ran 62 to 400 meters. I stood fifth. I just conferred to the coach, and he was selected. He told John Scalper to take the gentleman extra 400-meter runner in case someone is injured. But they didn't listen to him, so in disgust, he resigned and went back to
Okay.
America.
Okay.
I took it in my stride.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you had a great. We are talking about your stint in Czechoslovakia, and you also had the pleasure and privilege of meeting Mr. Emile Zatopek.
Yeah.
If you could just tell us about your stint in Czechoslovakia, how was it? What were they doing differently as compared to in India?
Yeah. You see, they say, competition is a training field of perfection.
Yes.
I used to train the whole week, and in weekend, I was my coach used to send me for a competition, say doing under distance, over distance, like a 400-meter runner running 300 meters, running 600 meters, running 800 meters. So that competition every week used to you should build in you the confidence that you're running a race, and your hard work will bring you up. So you're not frightened. Here in India, we had only 1-2 meets to run the 400 meters. There every week we are competing.
Okay.
So as I said, competition is training field of perfection.
Who was the coach at that time, sir, for you?
There was no, actually, I told you, all my life I never had a fixed coach. Nobody trained me. I trained myself. Nobody. I had no permanent coach. Except when we go for camps, we used to have these foreign coaches.
Now, I'm saying at that time when you went to Czechoslovakia, do you remember the Czech coach name?
No, no, tongue twister, yeah. Tongue
Tongue
twister.
twister. Okay. But you had an amazing incident with the coach and who made you run the 800 meters at that time, sir.
Yeah,
Can you just
yeah,
tell a bit about that, sir? I mean, because there's a trophy in your showcase which you really love it. It's very close to your
yeah.
heart.
I
Please
tell you,
tell us.
yeah. This coach entered me for 800-meter race. So before the race, he took me to the table where the trophies are laid, and he pointed out to this trophy. He said, "This trophy is yours," and he walked away. I said to
Okay.
myself, "What?" He just said, "This is your trophy," walked away. I was wondering what is that, and then my eye was on that trophy only. I was warming up for the race. My eye is looking at the trophy only. During the race, I was running. I said, "Nobody will take this trophy." And I won that race, and the coach came to me, congratulated me, and went away. Actually, he psyched me.
Yeah. So he psyched you. Can you just tell us about this? How you learned to psych an athlete during a stint in
Yeah, yeah.
Czechoslovakia? Because you tried the same thing when you become a coach here.
Yeah, no, because when I was an athlete also, I did the same thing. As I told you, 1960 Olympic, there were 6, 7 people vying for places, and the coach who was coaching me was Vince Real, and those athletes were definitely better than me. So I told the coach, I'm going to fight this guy. So every day I used to go to Milkha Singh and Daljit Singh. अरे मखना, अरे दलजीत, यहाँ गांव में ना मैं मारा तुमको वापस मारेगा. And work out. after after 20 days, they told me, "अरे जाओ मैं पहले सिल्वेरिया जिसको अरे सिल्वेरिया जाओ मैं मारेगा मेरे को." So I told him, "Coach, half my battle is won. They are definitely better than me, fitter than me, but half my battle is won. I'm going to fight them." So a week before the final trial, I ran a time trial 300 meters. I clocked so much time. So I went to them and told them, "अरे मखना जल्दी तो टाइम ट्रायल लिया मैं, अभी टाइम ट्रायल में इतना टाइमिंग लाया, अभी तुम लोग के साथ दौड़ेगा तो जीतेगा मैं ये." So those so nervous, they never took the time trial. But 2 days before the race, I told the coach, this is Alex talking to you. I'm going to send second. Milkha will send third. I'm going to send second. The race started. They started high altitude now. And he Milkha first, I second, Makan third, Daljit fourth. So the coach came to me and embraced me. He said, "Alex, when I go back to the States, I will tell them there was a guy who was inferior and he told me that he would beat them." And he beat them. I was amazing.
That's a wonderful story. I mean, I cannot stop laughing the way you said it.
So
Yeah. I mean, you're lucky that they did not get physical with you when you were going there and saying every day that you're going to beat them.
I tell you, they were frightened of me. They were not this.
So, yeah, and you actually, trained the same thing. You give the same advice to your athletes when they're training. So,
Yeah,
tell us the
yeah,
technique which you used actually with your athletes when you are a coach to
yeah.
psych them up for a race.
I tell you, in 1982 Asian Games Championship, I was coaching Hamida Banu from the railway. She was in the 4x400 relay team. And Valsama was the 400 hurdler. For a special coach we had from Madras.
Okay.
So, so I told him, Hamida, you are running 400 hurdles. You take my advice. See, when you pick up the lane, if you get a lane before Valsama, you jump over the hurdle. She was no hurdler. Then the Valsama was beautiful hurdler. So I said,
Okay.
before that, you run in between, you'll beat her and stick to her. So she picked up the second lane, Valsama picked up the third lane. So I told her, see, you, in between you run, jump over. And in the last race, last hurdle, 40 meters from, it says 40 meters from home, you're the 400 meters runner, you'll beat her. The race started was first hurdle, second hurdle, third hurdle. By the time she reached fifth hurdle, Valsarna hit the hurdle and fell off, and this one won the race. So I
Okay.
told, so I told her, now, Hamida, now you're going back for the camp. Ask them to train you for 400 hurdles also, because Valsarna will stand first. You beat her now, but for Asian Games, she never bothered because she was already in the relay team. They won the relay.
Okay. Fine.
Then, then there's another story I'd like to tell you
Please,
that
sir.
for the inter-railway athletic meet, there was one Jagna Prasad who was a good hurdler, 400-meter hurdler. So his coach was a friend of mine. His coach told me, no, Alex, he was stationed in Ajmer. So he says, Alex, the Jagna Prasad is good form. He's going to create a new Western Railway record. I said, yeah. Jagna Prasad. I said, Josh, Alice is running the 400-meter run hurdles. So tell your Jamna that I'm running. So I got hold of Jamna. I said, Jamna, अरे यार मैं सुना बोलता तू बहुत फॉर्म में है रिकॉर्ड तोड़ना है हाँ है तो तोड़ेगा तो मैं भूल मजा मैं भी 400 मीटर बना हर्डल्स कर रहा है well, and then you warn me for the 400-meter hurdle. He's also warning. I'm passing him. And Janna, he is frightened. He's not willing to say hello to me. Then before the race, he picked up lane. So I said to him, क्या जमना कौन सा लेन मिला? He's not telling. I said, देखो तुम्हारे लेन नंबर 3 है, मेरा 2 है. And right enough, right? So they started. He was a
I will.
beautiful hurdle. He was a beautiful hurdler. Clearance very good. I should jump over the hurdle. So before in between hurdle, I should catch up with it. So like that,
Okay.
when he came to the seventh hurdle, he hit the hurdle and I won the race.
I, I heard about sledging in cricket, but this is the first time hearing sledging in athletics.
No, this is cycling. No,
I mean, yeah, you're giving it a different name.
no,
So, psychic,
no,
but I would say sledging would be a right name.
no, no, journalist wrote this story about me, and then
Yeah.
he told that time Ajit Vadekar, he told Ajit Vadekar take a lesson from Alex Silveira to psych people, and that he actually
Yeah. That's yeah. During, we were talking about the stint in Czechoslovakia. You also had the chance of meeting the great Emile Zatopek.
yes,
And see him train. Can you just tell the audience because he was a great runner. Just tell us a bit about his personality. You also had a chance of meeting him in Bombay when he and his wife came in.
yeah.
Just tell us the audience about him and his personality, sir.
See, Amit Zatopek was a colonel in the army. Well, and I still training early in the morning. Used to go into the forest, run cross country. Early in the morning, by 5:30. They used to come back by about 7:30. Then after breakfast, he used to jog around and do some light work. the evening, then he used to train again from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock. Hard training, track training, running 20, 100 to 400 meters in such certain time. Then again in the night, again he was there playing, relaxing, playing, what do you call that, football. So like that, in 1950, in spite of he was working so hard, he had a hernia operation, and he showed me that. Says, "Oh, I got a hernia operation. I cannot perform." And he never performed in 1956, but he's training better. And I learned from him that you have to work hard if you want to come up in life.
Okay. I mean, I can't imagine that. I mean, 3 times a day he used to train,
Yeah,
almost,
yeah,
right?
that, yeah. I seen it. That's what I'm telling you. I was witness to it. I had a good
Okay.
fortune to see him.
Okay.
And I
You
also played.
you also had a chance of going out for jogs with him.
Yeah, yeah. I used to go out in the morning for cross country with him. But you're far much ahead. Like I used to go, but I'm far
Okay.
behind.
Okay. So I'm sure there are a lot of inner desire inside him actually to make him train like that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
your journey as an athlete was fantastic, and a journey as a coach was even more great. And
I
there's an
tell
amazing story about you helping out Frank Alfonso sir in his to win his first marathon race, which
I,
changed his life.
I tell
I know
you,
it's a long story, but we would love to hear from you about this wonderful race. And Frank
yeah,
sir is also listening to it.
I tell you, see, this gentleman, Frank Alfonso, came to me one day in Bombay, and he said he's come from Goa, and he's a marathon runner, and he's looking out for the job. So I told him, you have any credential that you are certificate to show that you are a... No, he said, I'm training for a marathon race. So I was a veterinary coach. So we had a veterinary athletic meet 3 months ahead, and we are to looking out for athletes to be taken into the Bombay division workshop. We have so many Bombay division headquarters, Ratland division, yeah, we vying for championship. So I said,
Okay.
you get this chance, you get 5 points more. So I went to my officer, who was the sports secretary. I said, "Sir, see this, I got this man, gentleman. He's come for the job as a coach, as a marathon runner. So we are having a marathon in Dahod. That is a place between Godhra and Vadodara. Workshop of Western Railway." And I told him, "See, you have the powers to employ class work. Nobody can challenge you. So we take him as a class four." So we got him employed in class 4,
Okay.
and he got a job, and he was went about his training. I didn't know what he was doing. He was training. So then time came for him to go for the inter division at Ajmer. So I told him, "Frank, we are taking you
Yeah.
now for marathon race." So I was the official for the marathon
Yeah.
race as well as a coach. So I was going in a jeep, going in a jeep. For those who don't know what a marathon race, a marathon race consists of 26 miles or 42.1 200 kilometers. And when a race is
Yeah.
starting, at 21 kilometers, you have a turning point. You come back. You run 21 kilometers and turn back 21 kilometers at 200 meters in the ground to finish the race. I was
Okay.
I was in a jeep. So a friend of mine who was monitoring Frankie, he came and told me,
Yeah.
Alex, Frankie is leading at 21 kilometers, but then turning point is he wants to give up. He's getting catches. So immediately I told him, "Okay, Baba, you give me your cycle." I took my cycle, I went. And good to see there, I found Frankie uh, almost giving up. So I told him,
Okay.
"Frankie, what happened?" He said, "Sir, I'm getting cramps." I said, "Okay, see, I could not follow him. I had to remain at this another. He'll be disqualified. Nobody can accompany an athlete.
Yeah.
So, so I was this is telling the friend, Sanji, keep walking, keep walking.
Hmm.
The exercise a little, don't stop.
Okay.
He, the athlete behind you is almost 2 kilometers ahead. This is so I'm falling. I said, okay, you keep on walking, keep on jogging, but the moment that athlete overtakes you, you give up. I told him, you give up. But till such time you're leading, don't give up the race.
Okay.
Every then the 15 meters from 15 kilometers from home, he asked me how many kilometers left. I told him 10 kilometers left. So he said,
Okay.
and
Again,
every
Psyche.
uh,
Again,
yeah,
Psyche.
so every time he said, "Equal, I'm tired," I said, don't stop, keep on walking. I told him, "See, if the athlete beats you, then you give up the race." So at 7 kilometers, 10 kilometers, how many kilometers left? I said, 7 kilometers left. Then at 5 kilometers, he said, how many kilometers? I said, 3 kilometers left. He said, 2 kilometers, 2 kilometers. I said, 1 kilometer left. Now I said, now you pray and go. I said, don't give up. And he completed the race. He, exhausted. He was taken to a hospital. And that's how he won the race. And the next 3 months, he trained for Inter Railway. He won the Inter Railway and got a class 4 job, a class 3 job.
Oh,
That's it.
wonderful, sir. That's such an amazing story. I
And,
mean, like, so
and
yes, sir.
he told everybody, this Sir Alex was not there. I was like, he
Oh,
goaded me, and that's how I completed the race. He was exhausted. He was taken to the hospital, given international, and then he came on it. That's the
okay.
story of Frank also, and he
So
got that class.
wonderful. I mean, after the race, did he tell you, or did you tell him that you were doing this to him,
Oh no,
that you are not telling the actual kilometers?
I didn't tell him. I didn't tell him
So
that. I did. Simon knew about this. Simon knew about this.
I knew about it. Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't. I don't tell him.
So Frankie sir is listening to you, and I think this is the first time he would have heard you speaking about it. But
I don't.
I think he went on to win lot many other races thanks to you.
Uh,
So at that time when you were training, sir, there was not much about talk about diet or sports medicine. How did you manage your diet at that time, sir?
no, I tell you, I had so much experience. I ran for 21 years for Western Railway, and I was coach for 18 years.
Okay.
In, in that 18 years time, I produced a lot of sportsmen who have represented India. I was a fitness freak, and a lot of people came to me to asking me to train outer turn athletes. Like I coached a boy who swam the English Channel. He had
Okay.
he had a swimming coach. So he came to me and said, Alex, see if you can give this boy. He's going to run to swim the English Channel. Can give me fitness exercises. So thrice a week I used to go to his house early in the morning, give him physical fitness training, at the same time psychological and believe me, he swam the English Channel at the age of 12.
At the age of 12.
He swam the English Channel.
My God.
And later on, I was also a part-time coach, physical trainer in the school. He was in the same school as me. His swimming coach was in the railway. He told me to make cricket. Then I also coached a national junior squash player, Sachin Sachdev. He was
Okay.
boy, 12-year-old John Cannon school. His mother came to me, I want you to condition him. So I conditioned him for 3 months. And then he went to Scotland for scholarship, came back and became India's number one
Okay.
squash player. Then
Wonderful.
there was another girl, Nandini Rangarajan. She was a good tennis player. She used to hit 100 balls a day. Her father was crazy. Morning, breakfast, lunch, dinner, nothing else but tennis. And she was an intelligent girl that her mother used to accompany her to go up for training various places. Principal used to give her because you're a brilliant girl. And then
Okay.
she beat Nirupama Mankar, Ashoka Mankar's wife
Yeah.
in tennis.
Okay.
She got scholarship and went to the States.
That's nice. So you are also the founding member of the famous club, which is the oldest club, I think, running club. Maybe
Yeah,
Ramulri Krishna sir can tell me if there is any other older running club. That the famous track trotters.
yeah,
Tell us a bit about that club because it's an amazing history of Bombay and Bombay athletics and Indian athletics.
yeah.
Not many people know about this club actually. So if you
Now,
can just
now,
tell the audience about this, sir.
all the athletes in Bombay, athletes under 10, under 12, under 16, under 18, and senior uh, were attached to this club. And the coaches were various people like me, Movin Jacobi, coaching them, charging them nothing. And I had a friend in France who was former athlete. He used to come every year to Bombay. So I used to tell him, see, Custodio, I want you to do me a favor. Every time you come, you bring one pair of spikes and one pair of track suit because I want to give this to the best athlete in our club. And he used to come, and that's how we used to promote.
Okay. That's nice. I mean, it was like and all the training was free.
Yeah, crazy. No, no charging them. We they're training us. We used to manage.
Let's talk about the current situation, the current this thing of athletics in India. Is that I mean, 1950s? You said we had the cream of athletes. All of
Yeah,
them
yeah,
are world class.
yeah.
What has happened to athletics in India? Why don't we have many world class athletes now?
I tell you. You see, I tell you, biggest drawback is if you find potential in an athlete, he should be sent abroad for further training. In India, he cannot come up unless he goes abroad for one training and training there. That is why you see now, at present, but they're all training abroad. They're training in the States. Look up, take the case of a hammer throw, discus throw. They are training in the States. That's how they're coming up. Every week they're training there. That's the difference. Here, what happened in India, we say an athlete, how many 400-meter competition can you have? Maybe 3 or 4 in a year. There you're competing every week. As I said, competition is the training field of perfection.
Okay. I mean, with the current crop of athletes, basically from all the African nations, they're doing great times, better than us, better
Yeah,
than world times.
that,
Um, what is your opinion on them, actually?
see what happens now. All these athletes of these African countries are poor people. Follow? And what happens? They're all put in schools. Now from where they're living in their villages, every day they have no transport. Every day they're running to the school, five
Okay,
kilometers, 10 kilometers, and coming back. So this is initial stages from say whatever age they start running up, and they become so habituated. They are already uh, fitness is there. You have to only polish them. That's how they are winning.
okay. That's how they're winning.
Yeah, because they are already fit from a very early age. They're running day in out, day in day out. Very good school because it's a scientific country. They have no school in the villages. They have to go quite far away.
Okay. There's a question from one of the audience members about improving speed. He says he wants to improve speed in his runs. What do you suggest for improving speed, sir?
Different types of training. They're known as cross country race, doing a fartlek, interval training for speed, for stamina. For speed, you have to do short distances, repetition many times. Then you have
Okay,
to do over distance running many times. So you're building, you have to do hill climbing, you have to sand running. All these things makes you tough. You
okay,
have to build. And not only that, you also have to get your body built. You have to do weight training, not
Okay.
weightlifting, weight
Hmm.
training. There's a difference between weightlifting and weight training. Weight training, you take less weight, but do more reps and less time. It's known as interval training.
Okay.
Different types of training. There are part leg. Part leg is what? Part leg is walk, jog, run. What do they know as part leg? That's a Swedish word for part leg.
Yes.
Tell
So
it you,
that
but
came
nothing.
in from the Europe, yeah.
No, tell it people who want to learn. First of all, see what happened during our time. We won many races. We were not happy. We were only happy if we created a record. Nowadays, people are not interested in training. They are interested in physical fitness. So to do physical fitness, I see most of my friends who do weight training, you have to have a proper coach. Otherwise, you will die of a heart attack. And I've seen people die of a heart attack.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no proper training. You see, you have to. I say, you have to be your own coach. I was my own coach, training what to do, how to do, run. Uh, I tell you about this reel. One day he gave me a workout of 10 to 100 meters in 23.5 seconds.
Okay.
I I did eight, and I was very tired. So as a coach, I've done eight. I'm very tired. You have done eight. It's okay, forget about it. Then he put my head in the screen. He said, see, you're done eight, forget, go. But remember, the last one that counts, second last that counts, ninth one that counts, and the 10th one that does you the good. So that eight, what you have done, you don't know you. So automatically you are going to the next two. He set my head in a spin. So there,
I think the word of the day today is psych. He psyched you up.
there, no, if an Indian coach said, no, no, और दो भाग के करना है, he put it in such a way that he made you do it so smoothly. Indian coaches say, no, और दो भाग के करना है तुम. You force you to do it. But this
Yeah.
is that's the beauty of foreign coach.
Okay. And you had the pleasure and opportunity to meet a lot of them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good. You know, despite the achievements, awards have not come much. Your thoughts on that, sir, for you?
It's okay.
No,
All in a day's work.
all in a day's work. Very well put, sir. So, sir, we have been speaking for an hour now, and I'll come to my last question to you, sir.
Yeah.
The question is that if somebody wants to be an athlete like you,
Yeah.
what are your top tips for being an athlete like you, sir?
Yeah.
What would you
I will,
recommend?
I will tell you only in two words. There is no substitute for hard work. And
Okay.
to work hard, one must work harder. But
Very well put, sir. That's
yes,
nice, and I hope that people listening to you would have enjoyed this talk. And if you want to say, to the audience who's listening, a
thank,
few words from your side, sir.
thank you very much for listening to me. I hope that I have motivated you, psyched yourself in some cases.
Okay.
But you want to win a race, you have to use psychology. You have, especially if both the athletes of the same class. Okay, only your strategy, how you behave will count. You in every you must have be a little nervous. When you are nervous, you perform better.
Okay.
Nervousness must be there.
Okay. That's nice. I think a lot of people saying thank you very much. We have got a very famous runner, Satish Gujaran sir, who is a long distance runner, and he does ultra marathons. Who is saying thank you to you. He actually has run the comrades race a lot many times, 10 times more.
Right.
We have got Gavin Nurana saying, it was joy and inspiration to hear from you. Ram Murali Krishnan sir is saying thank you, and we got Som Ria from Calcutta who's saying thank you. So we got a lot of people saying thank you to you, and What I will do is that I'll just take you off from the screen and say thank you to the audience, and let's talk to you in a few seconds, sir.
Before you take me off, I would like you to, yeah, whenever you have the opportunity, do visit me in Bombay. I'd be love to show you all what I have kept as mementos.
Yes, sir. I will definitely do that, sir.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Just a minute, sir. Just be there online.
Yeah.
So it's been a pleasure talking to Alex. This was like, and I love doing this interview with him. And most importantly, the word of the day is psych, and a lot of funny stories about him psyching out. It is like it made me roll in laughter, and I enjoyed doing this interview. I hope the same with you also. So next week I will come back to you with a schedule of interviews. We've got a few athletes being there, and also I'm hoping to get a solo interview done, not a Facebook live interview with Barua sir, which I will put in YouTube and I'll share it with you guys. So thanks for tuning in, and this is the end of broadcast, and wishing every one of you a very happy Diwali, and let there be joy and light in your lives. Be safe and enjoy this Diwali. And I thank from the bottom of my heart for the support you're giving to me by coming for this interview. Simon sir, Sabio sir, thank you very much. So Simon sir, thank you very much for giving Alex's number. Without you, I would not have got this number. And before that, Guru Murthy, thank you for giving all the other numbers. Thank you very much for coming in.